get the QI from the MME side. So the inode B should tell the UE, and the inode A is the radio barrier. Okay, the UE should also know this information and how to configure the different layers. So in the RC connection reconfiguration, it may contains many different config. It have the mirror config, mobility control info. For the mirror config is that before we perform the handover, the inode B first tell the UE how to perform. So it will contain some mirror config. Usually you may see many RC reconfiguration signalings, and it just contains the mirror config. Tell the UE how to perform the mirror. The mobility control info. So if the UE performs the handover, the inode B will send the command. This command contained in the mobility control info. So if the mobility control info, the person is the UE handover to another cell. So handover. So when we solve the handover problems, when we check the signalings, usually we just need to check the reconfiguration. Which reconfiguration contains the handover and which reconfiguration contains the measurement config. Yeah. And for dedicated info for NAS, because this information, this RC reconfiguration, it also needs to contain some information from MME, for example, the attach, accept. Here is one. It contains the dedicated info NAS. For NAS signaling, it contains. And the radio resource configure. Because here we need to configure the DRB and the SRB2. So we need to configure the radio resource for it. So it will contain the radio resource config. This is the NAS. So here for the radio resource config, okay, which one it will configure? SRB. It will configure the SRB, and the DRB it will configure the DRB, and the MAC layer it will configure the MAC layer, and the physical layer it will configure it. So which SRB we configure? Okay, SRB identity is true. Now we configure the SRB2. So before, if we don't have SRB2, the NAS signaling is contained in the RC signaling and is carried by SRB1. Now if we finish create the SRB2, from now on, all the NAS signalings will be carried by SRB2. And for this SRB, it will configure. For SRB2, it configures the RRC. It also uses the AM mode. Yesterday we have already introduced this, so we don't introduce it again. And for this SRB2 is priority. It's logic channel priority. They will use the DCCH was the priority, is 3. And for the DRB we create. This DRB, the parameters is from the MME side, I write there, the AMBR, the QCN, the ARP, like this. So the EPS barrier ID, the first EPS barrier, the ID is 5. Before we check in the UE contact setup request, in that message it contains a wrap ID is 5, yes? So the EPS barrier ID is same, is 5. The DRB identity is 3. So under this wrap ID, under this EPS barrier, okay, the DRB, this part we give it ID, the ID is 3. The ID is 3. And for PDCP layer, for this DRB, for PDCP layer, it will have a discard timer, and it also uses the RC AM mode. For discard timer, it's 500 milliseconds. That is for PDCP layer. We also need for every layer. We will have a sequence number, and it will maintain it, and it will check the data. So it also have a discard timer. And for DRB, we also use the AM mode. And for the logical channel, its priority is 12. So you can see this priority we said this value is smaller. That means the priority is here. So the signaling priority is higher than the data, right? So this priority. And the MAC layer, yeah, the same. Okay. This is for the DRB. So when the UE received the RC connection reconfiguration, it will to create the DRB and SRB2. When it finished, it will feedback the complete. So for this complete, there is nothing. It's just tell the node B side, I have already finished. So there is no other information. But we also need to tell the MME side, the node B received this complete. So the node B should also tell the MME side we finish. Okay, the initial context setup response. The UE, the node B side will tell MME we finish the barrier. We create the UE context. We finish it. So it will feedback the initial context setup response. So it contains, okay, this connection. It belongs to which UE also. Okay, this ID is same with the first time we transmit. It's same. And which barrier we set up is barrier 5. Now, here is also have a transport layer address. So this address should be which one? In node B. In node B service IP. We know the in node B have 2 IP, right? In node B have the operation IP. It communicated with the net Newman, and also have the service IP communicated with the EPC side. So here, it also will take the in node B service IP. This is in node B service IP. Under the GTP TEID. Okay. So after this, we finished the erupt barrier setup, and we also need to tell the MME we finished the attach. It should send a attach complete. So the attach complete is transmitted by the UL information transfer and the UL uplink, the uplink NAS transport. This two is only contained the attach complete. Okay, so these are two NAS procedure, NAS signaling. We cannot decode it. It only contains NAS. There is only one information is dedicated info NAS. Okay.
Okay. So, if you see the order of this message, we see your slide. There should be some exchange the message. You see that if you initial UE message should be first before UE capability provided. This is exchange. And second is like RRC connection configurations to be after UE capability information.
Yes.
So this is okay or this is?
It's okay. This is we just trace from the innovative side. You know, when we trace the signaling, maybe the time will be is not very exactly right. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it is okay. Yeah, actually sometimes when the UE, for example, the UE send the innovative send the signaling to the UE side, and maybe at the same time it will also send a signaling to the MME. Yeah, but when it display here, it must first one second. Maybe it at the same time. It doesn't matter. For the sequence, it doesn't matter.
But it should be if I want to, for example, UE capability inquiry, Please,
Yes. Initially message. They will first receive the UE setup request, the contact setup request. It first receive it and it transmit the UE information file. But usually, this it relates to the time delay. Usually we will optimize this procedure that we think if for the patch procedure, the input bit he need further information. So I don't need waiting for the MRP send the request to me, I send it. So I can, when I'm waiting for this request, I can first, I can first prepare the information. So it's exactly the PC side, it can optimize this. That means we won't get a short delay. So we can optimize this procedure. But this procedure is not need waiting the request. I can wait. I cannot wait. So I can first get the information. So this is a attach procedure. So when we finish this, the create barrier, and it report to the MME side, we finish. Okay, the attach is finished. Next so the attach is finished. Yes, when we transmit the uplink information transfer and uplink transport. So that means the first barrier is created. So we need to create the second barrier is for RMS. Okay, from this procedure you can see that the first barrier creation is started by ME by this initial contact setup request. It contains the erupt setup request. Yes, the barrier setup request is contained in this. So for second, all the rest except the first one. You can open this. To the dedicated barrier flow, it's same. It's not dedicated, but for the second, the barrier setup is same. So this is the first. The first is initiated by the MME side. Use initial contact setup request. But before the UE used the RC connection complete to request to send the attach request and the PTN connectivity request. Yes, so it will give a back initial contact setup request. So now we have already finished this. We need to create the second. All the second or third one. So except the first one, we will use the dedicated barrier setup procedure. So even it's a default. For QCF file is also a default barrier, yes. But the procedure is same with the dedicated because I have already in my system I have already exist one. So for others, it will transmit by the URL information transfer and uplink nav transport. So for this barrier, for the dedicated barrier, it can be triggered by the UE side or by the MME side. But it cannot, for barriers, it cannot initiated by the inode bit. Not only dedicated, even for the default, all the barriers, it cannot initiated by the inode B. But the default barrier is initiated by the MME. Is initiated by the MME. So for MME, when we create the QCF file, the MME will send an erupt setup request to inode B side. So in our signaling, if you check the VoLTE signaling, the VoLTE procedure, from the first time attached to make a VoLTE call, so you will see this, the erupt setup request. This is to create the QCI file. The QCI file, it contains the activity. It's also a default EPS barrier context request. So it's a different default for IMS domain. So in node B received it. They also use the RC connection reconfiguration to UE. UE will create the QCI file. The QCI file it also will have these parameters. Just give a different value, but the parameters it have the same. Yeah. When it's finished, it will feedback complete. Here it feedback the erupt setup response. So in our optimization, we have one KPI is the erupt setup success rate. So we have different. Some is the add new erupt success rate and have a total erupt setup success. So when we talk about the erupt, we don't talk about the default or dedicated, yes? We talk the total erupt. So you need to consider two signalings. One is so for the success rate, now one is how many initial contact setup requests transmit. Yes, how many this message received by the node B. And how many initial UE context response sent by node B. So it's response. Next is the request. If I send a request, that means I want to create a erupt. This is initial erupt success rate, setup success rate. Now we will have this. So this one is only related to the initial. If we not consider initial, we consider all. So you should also consider this one. How many erupt setup requests I receive and how many erupt setup response I transmit. This two relates to the erupt. We have two methods to create a erupt barrier. One is by the initial. One is by the erupt setup request. So if you only consider initial, just consider these two signals. If you consider the total erupt, okay, these two, you need to consider these two. So for the barrier, we also need to create a barrier of QCI1 and QCI2. Yes, so for QCI1 and QCI2, in VoLTE is created by this signaling, by this procedure. So the UE will transmit a UR information transfer and uplink NAS transport to ask for the QCI1 parameters. The node B, the EPC side will transmit the erupt setup request. It contains the QCI1 parameters to node B. Node B use the RC connection reconfiguration sent to UE to create the QCI1. And also the same procedure for QCI2. For the dedicated barrier setup, every time if the service is finished, we will release the dedicated barrier. So the dedicated barrier release it must at the RC connected state. Because at the idle state there is no dedicated barrier. There is no dedicated barrier, so it only exists in RC connected. And sometimes maybe we will modify some barrier parameters. So the modified barrier procedure is similar with the setup. It's also can be initiated by UE and MME, but it cannot by node B. It's only at the connected state. So for the modification, the procedure is same with the setup, but is modify request and response is modify response. In our network, usually we don't modify the barriers. When we configure the parameters, it usually is fixed. We will not modify it. But if we need to modify it, in the procedure is like this. And when we release it, this release command is from the EPC side, cannot at the node B send to UE directly. So EPC will send a ERAM release command, and in this command, it will contain the reason why I release this. Why I release this? Usually the service is finished. Okay. When node B receives this release command, it will release the node B side the related resource, and it also tell UE to release the information. So the release command is in RC connection reconfiguration. This is for the dedicated barrier release. For the default barrier release, is use the RC connection release. Use that message. Because now we only release the dedicated, we don't release the default. Yes, we don't release the default ERAM. So we use RC connection to. Here, if we go to idle state, we need to release the default ERAM. So we will use the UE. The node B side will send the UE context release request to the MME side, and it will contain the reason why I release this. So the reason is user inactivity. That means the user inactivity timer expires. Okay, I should release it. So after that, the node B will send a command to it. RC release command, the UE context command to it. It also the same cost. And the node B side release this context. It will tell MME, okay, I finished release. And also it will let the UE to release. Let the UE to release by the RC connection release. Okay, here the release cost is other. So I said for RC release cost, we have three. For the redirection, CCO, and other. Only the user inactivity is normal. All other reasons is abnormal. That means it's an abnormal release. That's one call job. So how to judge this release is normal or abnormal? See this reason. Okay, here the reason is other. You don't know the exact reason. Okay, find in the S1. S1 it contains. User inactivity. Okay, it's normal. The release reason, we have three. One is other. One is direction. One is CCO. Only have these three kinds. So in other, if it's user inactivity. Okay, these three. User inactivity, redirection, CCO. These three reasons are normal. All others abnormal. That's our call job.
The value is one, yeah? From the last picture, the value from the recent other is one.
Yeah, so we can see that So in the RC connection release, it will not contain the exact value. Just tell you other.
The release close is 1.
Yeah, one is other.
Oh.
One is other. Second is redirection. Third is three is CCO. So that's the first reason. The reason is other.
So it means call drop.
Mm-hmm.
So it means it is call drop.
All is call drop, yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Yes, 1, 2, 3. That's 1, 2, 3.
If the zero is a
No
risk,
zero.
oh, no zero.
No.
Oh.
One is user inactivity. Other is
User inactivity, that means, okay, during this timer there is no service. The timer expires. Okay, go to other state. CCO is only used from LTE go to the GSM. Yeah, one method from LTE go to GSM at CCO. So we don't use. Now in our network there is no CCO, no redirection. In our network, CCO and redirection is from LTE to other networks. CCO is to the GSM. Redirection you can to all other systems for CDMA, for WCMA, for TDS, or for others. Yeah. Okay, this is attached procedure. This is attached procedure. And now we come back.
Back to handphone.
Okay, now we finished this. The attach we finished. Yes, all this. So we have the attach. So also we have the detach. The detach flow. For detach we have two kinds detach. We have two kinds detach. It's for power off detach flow. Another is non-power off detach flow. For power off and non-power off. For example, power off is just okay. I power off my cell phone. It's powered off. Yes. Non-power off. For example, I turn my cell phone to the flight mode. To the flight mode. It's non-power off, but I also detach from the network. Yes. So for the power off and the non-power off, it has different signaling flow because for non-power off, your cell phone is also powered on. It can receive messages. But for power off, once I powered off, it cannot receive any message. Yes? So we first see the non-power off. The non-power off. The non-power off, we also have two kinds. One is at the idle state. One is at the connected state. If I at connected state, I change the flight mode switch. I turn on. I open the flight mode. So it will send the detach request directly by the URL information transfer. So I send the detach request. When the EPC receives the detach request, the EPC side it will clear all the barriers information, and also it will EPC side release the UE contacts. So it will send a UE contacts release command to the inode B. And also send a detach accept to inode B. Inode B will send this to the UE side. And the inode B should also let the UE release the RC connection. So this is the detach at the connected state. It's very simple. But for idle state, I need to send the detach request. Only one signaling. I don't need to recover my barrier, right? I just wanted to tell you, okay, I will leave this network. I don't need to recover my barrier. So here we just recover the RC connection. We use the random access procedure an RC connection procedure to guarantee the RC connection is normal. And we use RC connection, that is SRB1, to transmit the detached request. So this procedure, you can see that this procedure it has the RC connection, but there is no barrier. There is no barrier. We don't recover the barrier. For the interrupt side, we don't recover it. And the input B side, when the input B side receive the message, it will use initial UE message to EPC. Because the input B side doesn't know what's the NAS signaling. So it will send the initial UE message. It includes this to EPC. But when the EPC side receive the detached request, okay, I know it's not, it don't need to create the barrier. Okay, I will clear the barrier resources here. So for the default, we also save the SAE barrier, yes? We just release the erupt. So now you will detach also the SAE side, also need to release it. So EPC side will release the resource, and it will use the now it just use the downlink NAS transport, downlink information transfer to tell UE. It's only NAS signaling. I don't need let the inode B to create barrier. So this information only contains NAS, doesn't contain any useful information for inode B. So I use the NAS transport and the information transfer. It only contains NAS. And also EPC should tell inode B to release the UE context. And the inode B receive it, it will tell the UE to receive the RC connection. Then it go to the detach. It will go to the detach. Now this is non-power off. So for the non-power off, we will see it will also have the RC connection release procedure. When you tell the UE, you need to release this connection. But for powered off, when you power off your cell phone, you have already cleared all the resource, all the information, right? So just transmit one information when I power off. It just need to transmit the detached request. So if at the idle state, I need first create the RC connection to transmit the detached. If I at the connected state, I transmit the detached request directly. This is the last message the UE transmit. It's the detached request. After that, it switch off. So the inode B received it. For this information, the inode B transmitted to EPC side also use the initial UE message. Yeah, because here before, for example, this is for the idle state. So the same, the procedure before the release is same. It use initial UE message. If connected, it's only the NAS transport. Yeah, it's combined to one. So when the EPC receive the detach, okay, it clear all the information and tell inode B to release the context. Inode B receive it and release the context. It report to EPC I finished. So here there is no RC connection release. This is different because you have already finished.
You already switched off.
Yeah. So there is no information. So I don't need to give you this command. So this is different for power off or non-power off. Or power off or non-power off. So this is two cans. Another detach is that it's abnormal. Abnormal. We can see it's a cut off or it's go to a blind spot. So if one carriage is blind, the UE go to this blind. There is no signal. So it's not go to the flight mode, not go to the detach. Yeah. But there is no signal. We cannot find this UE. So how the network know the UE have already left? We have the TAU. Yes. So TAU we will set a timer. We will set a period. We will have a period TAU. So for period TAU is that okay. I'm waiting for you. This time you should report your location, but there is no information. That means you are not in the network. So in that condition, the EPC side will clear the UE context directly for period TAU. So this is the power on, attach, and detach flow. So for the service request, it's same with the attach. There is only a little different is that the NAS signaling is different. Before it's attach request, now it's service request. This is different. So also here, the initial UE message, initial context setup request. Now before I have already created the default barrier, but I release the error. So this one is just recover the error setup, the error barrier. It's just recover it. For SAE barrier, for the EPC side, it always exists. So this just recover the barrier. And here the UE capability inquiry, these two signaling maybe exist, maybe not. If the inode B, it has the UE information, the UE capability, it will not query the UE. Maybe the inode B lost the information. Okay, it will query it. So here, this tool is not the essential method. It's according to the inode B itself. If I have, I don't need. If I don't have, okay, I query it. So the next assay. So I also need now active the security mode and recover the barrier. So before I recover the barrier, I must guarantee before I recover the barrier, I must guarantee the secure mode have already been active. This is the service request flow, similar with the attach. And for paging, we have already introduced. And now I just want to say, for the MME triggered paging flow, yesterday I introduced, we have two cans ID. Yes, we have two cans UE ID for the paging ID. One is as team say, one is IMSA. Yes. So if in paging the ID is as team say, that means the network is normal. So it will initiate the service request. If the ID is IMSA, that means the network is abnormal. I need first detach and then attach. Because attach will also create the barrier. I can receive the data and transmit data. So this is the different. Yesterday we have already introduced. So I talk about the TA and also I talk about the TAU and also I said in which parameter, in which signaling. In the initial UE message, it will contain the TA. But for TA, it's not according to the cells. It's a large area. Use the same TA. It contains many cells. So the EPC side use the TAI to indicate the UE location. Indicate the location. So when we perform the paging, when the MME perform the paging, it will send the paging message to the TAI area. But for this area, when the UE changes this TA, it should update the TA. It should report to MME. Otherwise, MME doesn't know the UE changed. So the UE should report the TA if I change them. So if every time I change, for example, This is a cell 1. It uses the TA1. This is cell 2. It uses TA2. Okay. I change my error from cell 1 to cell 2. I do the TAO. And from cell 2, I come back. I also need to perform the TAO. So it may be perform TAO frequently. When we perform TAO, we cannot do any service. We cannot do any service. We must first finish the TAO and then we do service. So if in the handover procedure, from one cell handover to another cell, also my TA changed. I need to first finish the TAU procedure. I should wait this. So it may be generate a big handover delay. So usually, we don't have the UE always report STA. So we set a TA list. We set a TA list. If you are in the TA list, if your TA in this TA list, okay, you don't need report. So now, in my TA list, I contain the, for example, I set the TA list is 2. It only contains 2 TA. I set is TA1 and TA2. TA1 and TA2. So if I hand over from cell 1 to cell 2, just 2 TA in my TA list, I don't need to perform the TAO. And when I come back, I also don't need to perform the TAO. So it reduces the TAO frequency. So for example, here is a cell 3 use the different TA3. Okay. Now, if I change my TA from the cell 2 to cell 1, now it's a new TA. It exists my TA list. Okay, I should perform the TAO. So, this new TA, I will add it to my TA list. I will replace the TA1. It's the TA3. So, the sequence, it will be changed. Okay, this is the TA2, the old TA. This is the newest. I always replace the oldest one. Okay, this is TA3. So when I come back, I don't need to perform the TAO. So this is when we define the TA list. So when we define the TA list, it's according to we want to reduce the TAO frequency, but it will generate another problem. So for pages, for now we define the newest parameter TA list. So it will contain in the MME. When MME from the paging is not page 1 exact TA, it's page the TA list. So if the TA list it contains too many TA, the paging error is too large. Yes. So usually the TA list is only contains 1 TA or 2 TA. Only contains 1 or 2. Will not contain so many TA.
You mean 1 or 2 TA list or TA?
1 TA list contains 1 TA or 2 TA. It's according to the operator. Maybe you said, okay, I only said 1 TA, but the TA error is large. Maybe as a 2 TA, but this TA error is not very large. It's according to the operator planning. So now we know because TA is used to max UE location, so we will have the TAU.
For the TA, the information is it for different element is a different TA at least or same?
Which different
Because like smartphone have 2 PRMN. So this is TA1 is parallel plus TAC, right?
No.
I mean,
First, you see here, TAI, this value, it equals PLMN added the hat. So
My question-
different PLMN, it will have a different
Difference.
TAI. You said you have two PLMN.
yes.
For TDD1, FDD1? Or
No, we have yeah. We must 510009 5 51028 51028 yeah 8 we have to pair man. So every parallel have a different way, right?
Yeah, both for LTE,
Yes,
both LTE,
yes.
and
For the first is for FDD.
this is for FDD. This is for TDD.
Sorry, this the first one for TDD
Okay. The second for
and
FDD.
FDD. So this different tier.
Yeah.
So we should create two different tiers.
Yeah, we here the TA list is the TAI list. So it's by the TAI. So this is two different TA. I just consider how many TAI I in my TA list. So even the PR1 is different, it doesn't matter. Yeah, because I need the content two different. I need the content two different. So this is 1 or 2 because, for example, for TDD or FDD you use 2. For this area, this is the TDD, and we also have the FDD. As for FDD, for if we set the TA list only. For example, if only contains 1, so TA list it only contains 1 TAI. I said only contains 1. So if I add TDD, it will exist TDD TAI. If I stay on FDD, it will be the FDD. So usually, you will always let the UE add the TDD. As you always let the UE first stay on TDD because TDD bandwidth is better.
What?
The TDD bandwidth is better. It
Yes.
can support the good data service. So hope it will first add the TDD. So usually there is
TDD.
yeah, it has a higher priority. Yes.
This is
So usually only at this condition, okay, the TDD coverage is smaller than FDD. Okay, I will hand over to it. So when we hand over to it, okay, it will perform the TAI, the TAO. So this is for the TAO. It's not related to if the TAI is different, okay, I will perform it. It doesn't matter. Okay, I said 2. I said the TAI1 and TAI2. Okay. The first time, for example, I said this value is 2. The first time I'm in TDD. Okay, this is TDD. TDD is, for example, is this value. Is 1. It's 1. And then I hand over to FDD. And before I do the contain it, I just have 1 TI, another is 1. Okay, I need to add it to my TA list. My TA list is changed now. So this is, for example, 28.1. 28.1. Okay. From TDD to FDD, now I'm perform the TAO. Next time, from FDD to DD, I don't perform the TAO. Because you have already in my TA list.
you know different parallel can be in the one.
Yes. Yes, TA list is maintained by UE. UE decides the TA list. Just the UPC side decide how many TA can in your TA list. But the TA list is maintained by the UE. When I go to a new area, the TAI is changed. Okay, I will add to my TA list. I will perform it. So no matter DDD or updating, it doesn't matter. So this condition is the TA actually is changed. We need to perform the TAO. Another is that, as I said, maybe you go to a area there is no signal, or signal is too weak, you cannot see the network. So how the network know you have already lived? This is by periodic TAO. So we need to set a periodic TAO timer. So if this timer expires, you also, even your TA doesn't change, you also need to report. You need to tell me your TA. So for the TAU, we have two different kinds. One is when I perform the TAU. I don't need to do service. I just tell you I change the TA, and then I will go to other state. Another kind is, okay, after that, when I finish the perform the TAO, I also need to do service. Two different kinds. And when we perform the TAO, we also have another. One is that for the periodic, maybe I doesn't change the MME. I just from one area to another area. These two areas use the same MME. Use the same MME code, the same MME group. Maybe I change to another MME group. I change another MME. So if we change the MME, we need to change the GUTI. Right? I said the GUTI relates to the MME. So it should allocate a new GUTI for this UE. To allocate a new one. So in the TAU, it has some different procedures. Whether we need to allocate a new GUTI for the UE, whether this UE should set up the user plan resource. Yeah. So it's not very complex, just because it has many different choices. You think, oh, it's so complex, but actually it's not very complex. Okay. So we first take a break, take a lunch. First have lunch first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Ulang hả? Makan siangnya kosong aja nih. Makan apa ini? Makan siang itu gimana?
Di pantry.
Nggak ngajak saya Pak.
Pakai itu aja. Begitu mau, buat ngelak tuh.
Sudah nggak mau ininya. Iya, ini udah bisa terus.
Naik.
Dan dia kalau hitungan gininya kayak 6. Kalau di hitungan ini nanti di situ sekarang dia meter lebih panjang. Iya. Kalau ini dari ini karena dia lebih panjang dia lebih besar.
Mungkin ya kalau nggak ada setelah yang panjang
Emang kau itu dari dulu kan?
Caranya berubah. Iya. Hilang. Jadi hilang. Udah lewat.